Wednesday and happy afternoon. I can't believe it's almost 5 o'clock. This day has been so busy and just flew by like crazy. Been running around pretty much all of Sacramento today, dealing with appointments and Nico's appointments, but everything got handled and I crossed off a lot of things on my list today, so that always feels good. And I got decent sleep last night. So that's always good. I'm always in a better mood if I get somewhat good sleep. And you know, Wylan actually slept through the night. He's had a cold, so the previous night, he was the culprit, not my neighbors so much. He basically kept me up till about 3:30 in the morning, and then I had to get up at 6:30 to get Nico, well, get myself ready and then get Nico up for school. And like I said, I always like to have a smooth morning for him. I don't like to rush him because that can just throw his day off. So I make sure I get up earlier to get myself awake, have my coffee, get centered, get grounded, and then I gently wake him up, you know, a couple of times, and then he's ready to go. So I didn't get much sleep like 2 nights ago, not last night, but the night before, and I was just so tired. But today I feel good because I got decent sleep, so that always makes a difference. And I have to see I have to go talk to my management again and see about, like, I want them to do that meeting with the girls. I'm not even gonna wait on the other girl that I've been talking to. Like, I'm over being nice. I'm gonna go talk to them probably tomorrow. I was hoping I'd have time today, but they close soon. It's almost 5. So I'll have to try again tomorrow and just hope my neighbors aren't loud tonight, but they were a little loud last night. I think the nice girl was not there last night because she kind of like narks them, I guess, when she's there. But last night, like, that one girl, the one that I despise, I guess, because she's fucking up my chi and my sleep, man, you know, was on her balcony with some friends, and you know, it just almost midnight, just chatting it up, laughing like it's 2 in the fucking afternoon. And I was tempted to go yell at them, but I'm like, no, because then that's gonna get me worked up and I'm gonna be pissed, because what if they talk shit back? Then it's gonna be this heated argument because I'm not gonna back down, and then I'm not gonna really be able to sleep because I'm gonna be so mad and like fired up from, you know, the argument. So I said, no, chill out. So I watched a little TV on my phone, and you know, luckily they went inside close to midnight, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna try and go to sleep. And I put one earplug in because that seems to be somewhat of a solution at the moment. But again, I'm sleeping with 2 sound machines, a fan, and now 1 earplug to like drown out the noise. I shouldn't have to do that. So I'm gonna go talk to my management company tomorrow and just be more of a bitch, I guess. Demand that they meet with that household and demand that they talk to that girl specifically and let her know what's up, because she's just, you know, at this point she knows they're noisy and we've complained. Multiple people have complained, not just myself. And she has the audacity, and how rude and inconsiderate, you know, it's like, you know, everyone's bitching about you being loud, and you have the balls, or the I don't give a fuck attitude, to just go on your balcony and be loud. Like, to me, it's just mind-blowing. That is so fucking rude, and that pisses me off. So at this point, I didn't even text the girl and ask her like the status. I'm just gonna go tell management, you guys need to talk to her. I'm starting to hate where I live, and that's not okay. And just, you know, explain it all to them again, and hopefully they get that meeting going with her. Honestly, I wish that girl would move out, to be honest. I have fantasies about it, I guess. But again, I'm hoping to move, you know, back to Vacaville. I am going to move back to Vacaville. It's happening early next year. So that's the goal, that's the plan. But again, I refuse to live like this for the next couple of months. It sucks, you know. It's like, I have to deal with that sometimes, and then it's unpredictable. And that makes me anxious. Like, oh my God, are they gonna be loud tonight? Are they not? It's just, it's so annoying, you know, and it pisses me off because I was in a really good place and I was healing and I felt peaceful at my home. And now it's just like, I feel stressed and anxious, and that's not okay and unacceptable. So I'm gonna go break it down for them again, and hopefully something happens. I don't know. We'll see. And then now with the book, you know, Seth, myself, and Frank decided we were gonna release Anti-Heroes on Amazon, have it go live on Wednesday the 27th. So I did a post about that today earlier, and excuse me, and announced that, okay, it's officially gonna be live on Amazon 9/27, like mark your calendars, get ready. And someone commented, just got mine. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you just got yours? I'm like, I DM'd him right away, because I know Kidman. He's a writer for Gonzo magazine, and he actually plans to interview me in the near future, I should say. And Jessica Kent too. I'm going to do an interview with her to promote the book and the doc. So that stuff should be coming out in the near future, and I'll keep you guys posted. And we're going to do a couple other interviews. Like Seth's going to do Al Profit when he's in LA. And we're just going to be promoting the shit out of Anti-Heroes with our YouTube family and whoever else. So we're figuring it out. But I know I'll be doing one with Jessica Kent and Kidman, who writes for Gonzo magazine. He was a good friend of Ryan's, and we love them. So anyway, he told me he got his. I was like, what are you talking about? Wait, send me the link. And he's like, wait, did I get screwed? Did I get scammed? And I'm like, send it to me. Let me see. And he screenshot it and he sent me the link, and I was like, oh my fucking God. There it is. You can buy the book. So I immediately text Seth. I'm like, what's going on? I thought we said 9/27. And I didn't hear from Seth for a couple hours. And he's like, well, from what he's, I guess, he's a pro at this with books and the documentaries. He pretty much told me everything's uploaded, the publishers have it, it's ready to go. I guess it's all been submitted to Amazon, but even though we said 9/27, I guess they're gonna do whatever they want to do, whatever that means. That's what he told me. Amazon's gonna do whatever they want to do. So I'm like, okay. Instead of freaking out, instead of stalling it, or not telling you guys about it, because I'm going to post it on Patreon. I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to. It's just been one of those days, but I will do it tonight, I promise. Instead of stalling it or pushing it back or just keeping it a secret, not making it well known, it's like, fuck it. There's a reason it happened. Why wait anymore? Okay, let's go. Fine, let's go. Let's put it out in the world. So you can go on Amazon right now, type in Anti-Heroes, The Ballad of Mikey May, and there it is. And you can purchase Anti-Heroes starting today. Again, I'd like to think that Ryan had something to do with it. I know how Ryan would be. He wouldn't want to fucking wait. He was so impatient, and if it was done, he'd be so excited, and he already, would have been blowing up your feeds with this stuff. But, I like to think he had something to do with it, and if this is the day he chose and wanted, let's do it. Let's go with it. So it's out on Amazon. You guys can go on there and order it. And again, I'll post the link later this evening. Next round of the limited exclusive book cover art for Patreon is going out tomorrow. So today's the last day to get your order in, and I will mail those out to you tomorrow. And other than that, I'll probably drop the price in a couple weeks. I know it was a little expensive and I feel so bad, but we did pay out of pocket for these. And that's just, he wanted 100, and I was like, I felt so bad about that, and I did list it there, and then I dropped it down, but I will drop it again, because it just, you know me, I like to be fair. So stay tuned for that. And now that the book's pretty much officially out, our next Zoom should be next week, and we can shift gear and focus on the doc. So I should have more updates on the doc next week, and that's still on track from what I've heard. Still on track for October release, so that's right around the corner, and it'll be here before you guys know it. So hopefully I'll have more outtakes soon. I did ask Seth to shoot those towards me because I know you guys enjoy them, and so do I. But he said he would. I know he's busy right now and traveling and stuff, but hopefully next week on the Zoom, I will bring it up, and he'll start sending those my way, because October is going to be here soon, and then we have the doc too. So it's unbelievable. It's exciting, and couldn't do it without you guys. And we do it for you guys too, because we love you. Other than that, I think we're good. So I know last story, I was having like anxiety attacks, and it's gotten better. It's mellowed out. So I jumped to I almost said Northridge, just to explain like where I was coming from, because I couldn't really explain to you guys why I was feeling that way without telling you one of those stories of, getting woken up by Ryan just being crazy and unhinged and unpredictable and scary, freaking me out. Like, there was a lot of those episodes in the end. I just had to explain and get a little ahead of the story so you guys understood where I was coming from and not think I was just a total crazy weirdo. So hopefully that explained, and I really appreciate the people that reached out and messaged me and commented, that they understand what PTSD is and going through traumatic situations like that. So again, I'm just working on my healing, and all I want to do is be a good person and a good mother, and that's what I try to do every day. So for now, we're going to go back to West Covina. And West Covina, we left off pretty much, and West Covina will maybe start out slow, but it will pick up. There was definitely some relapses there and fights, and the Midwest happened there. But in the beginning, it was pretty normal and chill. At this point, we'd moved in. It was May 5th. I believe we moved in like on our anniversary or like the next day. We just moved into our new place, and it was exciting. It felt really good to be living together as a family finally. He'd been in prison and he didn't really know Nico. Nico didn't know him, and it was like starting our life together. So it was a very exciting time, exciting chapter. And for the most part, it was uneventful, which to me, that's great. It means peace and no drama. So in the beginning, Frank had agreed to help us. He gave us like an X amount, like a dollar amount. When him and I and Diane had that meeting at their house on one of our little get-togethers while Ryan was in prison, explained to me, okay, I'm going to help you guys pay rent. I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. I think it was like 12 or 15,000, something like that. And then after that, you guys figure it out. Basically, I'm helping you get on your feet is pretty much what he is doing. So by the time we had to move in, because we had to pay first month's, last month's double deposit, like that was like a good chunk of the money, so we had to figure out like, okay, well, how are we going to make money? We got to be able to pay rent and buy food and et cetera, basically live and survive. And we have our son, Nico. We definitely have to provide for him above everything else. So, the odds were against Ryan with his felonies and all that stuff. So of course I offered to go to work. I'm like, I'll just go back to work at a salon, or I can get an office job. I've worked in many, many different types of offices. I've done property management. I've worked in law firms. I've worked in dentist's office. I've worked in doctor's office, various salons, spas, and I've even been, I can't talk, sorry guys. I need to slow down. I've even been a cocktail waitress. I'm like jacks of all trade. I've done many, many things. I'm a fast learner, and I'm a hard worker. I'm a good worker. So of course I was like, I could find something. Maybe I could find like an easy waitress job or a front desk at a salon, because I didn't really want to do hair. I don't know. It's not been my passion, and I just, wanted to pursue other things and go back to school. That was, on my mind as well. But of course, Ryan was like, fuck that. You're not going to work. I'm the man. I should provide, mentality. And it's like, no, you're going to be home with our son. I will work. And it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do though? And he was like, okay, well, he made some phone calls and reached out to some friends, because we were back in LA. So he had a lot of connections and friends in Los Angeles. Which is another reason he wanted to move there, because he said he had lots of connections and it would be easier for him to find work, which was true. So, we were talking about it, and he didn't want to, what he was best at was, basically telemarketing. But he didn't want to do that. And he reached out to one of his friends, because, Ryan would always tell me these stories of when he was with Kayla and he, was selling solar, I guess. And he said there was times he made really good money. There's times he got checks for like $10,000. And I was like, well, fuck, if you can do that, then do that, So he hit up some guy and explained to him, I'm back in Los Angeles, I'm looking for work, do you know anyone, any leads, like, can you connect me with someone? And the guy, you know, responded and said, yeah, actually I do. And he connected him to this one place, I want to say, I hate that I can't remember the name. It was like Green Living Space or Green Living, something like that. And, you know, he set up an interview for Ryan. So I was like, okay, well, cool. So Ryan had an interview and he went there and he told me he got the job. To me, that was like so excited because I was like, wow, I cannot believe you got a job so fast. Like, that's great. That's impressive. Good job, you know? But then he explained to me like what it was. And with solar, basically, he explained that it's commission-based only. And what you do is you drive around Los Angeles on these leads, because I guess they have like a telemarketer room, and they take calls, and, you know, people call the telemarketers and set up these appointments for these solar meetings, and then people in Ryan's position would go to these houses to close the deal and have these people basically sign a check for like $10,000. And eventually I think it was like $50,000 to do the whole solar thing, and they could make payments. Some people would write the $50,000 and, you know, you would get a percentage from that check. But commission based. So he had to make, you know, some sales. And to me, I was like, okay. And he, you know, I'm a shark. I can make sales. Like, don't even worry about it. I'll probably make a sale in the first, second week, or I guess he had to do training for like the first week, and it wasn't paid. But, you know, it was exciting. I was proud of him and I wanted to be supportive. So I was very happy and proud of him at that time. So I was on board, and okay, you know, I trusted what he was telling me, and that was that. So, again, it was pretty fucking normal at this time. Like, go to bed together in the same bed. You know, we'd put Nico to bed, and then we'd watch movies at night and do our thing or whatever, and then go to bed together. Or he'd stay up maybe a little bit later, but always come to bed with me. And then I'd get up, and Nico would probably get up, and, you know, Ryan would get up. I'd get Ryan up. That's the thing. You always had to wake Ryan up. It's like, I had to be his personal alarm for a long time, and sometimes it was really hard. But he, at this time, was just really on Suboxone, and that was it. So for me, that was sober. He wasn't doing anything else. He was trying to live like a clean way and be a good partner and a good father. And he really was, you know, he was clean and not doing anything else and staying on track. And now he was working like a 9 to 5. So it was very cliche, traditional, get up, make breakfast, kiss your husband goodbye, and he'd be off to work. And then I do the household work and take care of Nico, go play with him outside. You know, and I'd get phone calls from Ryan, of course, throughout the day. Just, you know, checking in with me, letting me know what was going on, how his day was going. And again, it was just very normal. And it felt good. It felt right. You know, and during this time, he also had brought up that he started talking to some of his old friends, and, you know, one of them was Jose, his previous, I guess it was his manager when he went to prison. But he started talking to Jose, who I love, and, you know, they started talking about the doc again and getting it going. And, you know, Ryan brought it up to me, and I was just like, I don't think so. Because to me, I blame the doc for creating a monster of him and his ego, and it made him like snap and lose his mind. So when I heard the doc, I was like, fuck no, you're not doing the doc again. And, you know, we had a phone call while he was incarcerated about it. And he, you know, I said, look, I don't, like, the doc is dead. You're not ever gonna do it, because it, honestly, you like lost it, and you snapped and you lost your mind over the doc. I don't ever want to go through that with you again. I don't even want to chance it, so tell me the doc is dead. And he said, I promise, the doc is dead. It will never happen. Well, fast forward and a couple months, and now we're living in West Covina, and he started this new job. You know, he pretty much was talking to a lot of his old friends, and, you know, starting those relationships again and getting back in the loop of things. And he brought it up to me that they want to do the dock, and I was like, oh my God, literally my heart like fell to the floor. I'm like, no, like I can't go through that. You're going to lose it. You're going to go crazy. And he was just like, no, it'll be completely different. I promise I would never do that to you again. And you know, I was just on the fence. I was like, I don't know. Let me think about it and we'll talk about it. And he was like, okay, that's fair, whatever. But that was, you know, on the back burner, and I know he was thinking about it more and more. I didn't completely, you know, I said no at first, but he always had a way of convincing me to change that no to a maybe. So that's where we had left that at. But back to him doing solar, and we'll continue on with the dock later and what happened. 'Cause that's a funny story coming up. But he pretty much was doing the solar thing, and he was commuting, you know, all over LA. And if you've been to LA or you know LA, it's fucking huge, man. It is huge. And he was driving Diane's old X3 BMW, and the car was getting old and starting to have issues, but it got us around for a while, and I was very grateful to have that car, because for a long time I didn't have a car, so it felt good. And you know, he had to put gas in the car, and he had to eat, you know, like his coworkers who he was working with would tell him, oh yeah, man, I like made 50 grand last month. Oh, I made 120 grand. Like, they were telling him all these crazy numbers. And it was just like, okay, so it is possible. These guys were killing it at solar. They were literally making, like, they would show the checks to Ryan. He would, you know, screenshot, send it to me. And he's like, look, he just made a $50,000 sale. He got half of that. He's getting $25,000 today. And I was like, oh my God, well, what about you? What's going on? But, you know, he had me like, oh, like, I just felt like we hit the lottery. Like, he was going to do it, you know, and we were going to make all kinds of money. But, oh, back to my point, you know, but, you know, he was working commission-based, and I mean, again, we were basically relying on him making a sale and the little money we had left with Frank. So we would have to, you know, reach out to Frank, or Ryan would, and be like, okay, Dad, I need, like, you know, I need some money for the week. We need to get groceries, toilet paper, like essentials, and, you know, I need money for gas to put in the car to drive around and do these sales, because they didn't pay for anything, just like the supplies and things like that to, you know, promote the solar, but gas and mileage, nothing like that. So it was all on him. And again, these guys that he was working with would like to go out to these fancy lunches, and you know, it was embarrassing for Ryan to be pretty much like, I am not getting anything, and just like chain smoke. Usually whoever he was with would buy him lunch, but that's how we were living, you know, and $200 would last us, like, I mean, a whole week. We would stretch that out, you know. We were very careful with money, minus the gas. That's where a lot of our money was going. But yeah, I mean, he would call me almost, you know, after, okay, honey, I'm going into this sale. Like, he would have 2 or 3 lined up a day, and I'd be like, this is the one, you're gonna do it, go get him, like, you got this, you know, just try to encourage him and spread positivity onto him, because he started to get so discouraged. But he would just call me like 2-3 hours later, you know, telling me that no, they didn't want it. Or he would text me halfway through like, oh, I think they're gonna sign, then I'd talk to him after, and he would be like, no, it didn't happen. And he would just be so bummed, and it would bum me out so much to hear how sad and bummed he was, you know. But at first he was just like, okay, don't worry, tomorrow's another day, you can do this, don't give up, you're doing really good. And that was that. But, you know, 2 weeks into this, let's fast forward 2 weeks into this, and still no sales. He's struggling. And, you know, people that he started training with at the same time that were now in the field with him were getting sales. Everyone was getting sales but Ryan. And, you know, Ryan then, maybe because he was just embarrassed because he claimed to be such a shark, and he was, but he just wasn't having luck. You know, he was probably like, they probably don't like my tattoos, or, you know, I don't know, because he would definitely try to talk and charm them, and he didn't know if it was the tattoos or what. But there was even one time, this is funny, I don't know if he told you guys this, where he went somewhere towards like West LA, and I forget what, but he was with this guy, and they were, you know, trying to do a sale, pitching their solar, and I think something happened. I don't know if Orion got a phone call or something, and he, like, I don't know what he did, I can't remember exactly, but what he told the guy, oh yeah, sorry, I just got back from Europe. And oh, that's what it was, because I forget what they asked, like, oh, what'd you do last summer or something, and he was in jail. He didn't want to say, well, I just got out of prison, but he like lied and said, oh yeah, I was in Europe, I went to France, and, you know, was saying all this stuff. And then the guy that he was talking, or I think he said he lived in France. That's what he said. He was living out in France for like 3 months. And that's what, I don't know why he would always exaggerate these lies. You know, like, that's so exaggerated. And so out there, he could have just been like, oh no, I just went fishing, went to the beach, you know, didn't have to say I was in France, in Europe. You know, like, what? Because this guy was like, oh really? And started talking to Ryan in French. He started talking to Ryan in French, and Ryan was like, fuck. And he was just like, oh yeah, I didn't learn the language, you know, like, super embarrassed. And the guy was like, oh, really? You were there for 3 months and you didn't pick up anything? And Ryan, like, said maybe a bonjour or something like that. And, like, 2 little words that he knew. And then the guy was like, oh, well, have you been to this town? And he, like, named all these cities in, you know, France. And Ryan was just like, have you been to this town and this cafe and this and that? And Ryan was just like red face, busted, and just try, you know, he was good at like lying his way out of things and outfoxing people, but when he's caught off guard like that, it's really hard for him. So I think the guy caught on that that Ryan was just full of shit, and he just didn't like his vibe after that. So he did not get that sale, obviously. But to me, when he told me, we had a good laugh about it after. Like, I wonder if he told you guys that. He may have, but oh my God, we were cracking up like a couple weeks after that. It was pretty funny. But yeah, he wasn't getting any sales, and, you know, it was getting frustrating because Frank was pretty much like, all right, like, your guys' money's running out. What are you guys gonna do? You know, and pretty much we started struggling, you know. I had to get on assistance, I think. He like told me, you need to get on assistance to help us. So I did that. And that helped a little. But we were also, this is like the time where we had to start shopping at like food banks. And we were living like that, you know, and it was just a new way of living, but we were together. So it wasn't like super stressful. You know, we actually kind of had fun going to food banks together, and I'm a good cook. I can make like a feast out of the things we got at these food banks. Even though I don't cook anymore, like I rarely cook, and that's something after Ryan passing that changed for me with my grief. I used to love to cook. It was like therapeutic, and I was so passionate about cooking, and I enjoyed it, and I would do it all the time. I would look up recipes and try them out, like at least two new ones a week, and I would just go off in the kitchen. But after Ryan passed, it just never was the same. Like, I don't really cook. It's rare that I do. I like to get like food that's pretty much already made from like Sam's Club or, you know, like Whole Foods, things like that, and just make it as easy as possible. Like, I just don't have the desire anymore. At first, you know, like the first time I went grocery shopping in Vacaville, or actually when we got our apartment here, because I finally could like, you know, oh, I can have steak now and cook steak for myself and things like that. It was just, you know, like I remember that feeling like, well, it's just me now. I don't have my partner to cook for. It was sad. So, I mean, maybe it's tied to that too. You know, I would cook for him and I almost every night. Seriously, like 5 to 6 nights a week, I would make dinner for Ryan and myself. So that changed. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. Back to, you know, we were shopping food banks, and I mean, it was stressful at times, but we were together and we made the most of it, you know? And eventually, You know, Ryan was just so frustrated. He didn't understand why he wasn't getting sales. And the main guy, like the boss, you know, finally called him out, like, why aren't you getting any sales? Everyone's getting sales but you. And basically degraded him and made him feel really shitty, you know, like he sucked basically, instead of like trying to encourage him. So they wanted him to retrain and go out with their top sellers so Ryan could learn. So Ryan, you know, went out with the top seller a couple times, but still he wasn't getting anything. Then one day he did get a sale. I remember this now. Got a sale, and I think it, you know, Ryan was so desperate. They're supposed to sign, I think, like 10,000 at first. That's what they want you to get. But I mean, you could always do less than that, and you get 50% basically of what the check was. Well, these people, he, you know, spent like 4 hours with them, and they just said, we can't do 10,000 right now. We can do 5,000. So Ryan called his boss and was like, look, they can only do it for 5. Is that okay? You know, Ryan played hardball. Oh, well, let me see if I can get you a good deal, you know, trying to make it seem like he was doing them a favor, knowing that they probably could. But boss was like, I guess, but, you know, make sure you get them to sign the paperwork and the contracts and get the check. So, you know, they agreed to that. So at least, you know, Ryan made a sale and we were gonna get 2,500. But for some reason, and Ryan, you know, obviously noticed later, they told him at the office, he didn't get the people to sign everywhere in the correct places. Like, he missed a couple pages that needed signatures. You know, and he was like, fuck, you're kidding me. He had the check, but they could not cash it until they had the paperwork complete. So Ryan had to, you know, call those people back and tell them, look, I'm sorry, I missed a couple signatures and we can't start the process until you sign this. So I'm going to have to come back, you know, and have you guys sign it. Well, they didn't answer. They didn't respond, you know, and Ryan was just so desperate, and he even drove by their house and was tempted to go like knock on their door, but they just weren't responding. It was their way to get out of it, because, you know, they were unsure and felt pretty much pressured, I guess, to do the sale. So it was their way out. So we couldn't cash that check. They had to rip it up, and that was that. So the one sale he did get wasn't even valid, and he didn't get the money. So, you know, he was just getting so frustrated and discouraged, and, you know, he was losing money because he was driving around LA putting, you know, we had to put money in the gas tank, and it would just go down every single day. He had to get gas almost every day, and it was just like, we can't afford that, you know. Unfortunately, we're not in the position to, you know. So Ryan was just like, fuck this. He's like, okay, well, I guess I have to do something else. So, you know, it was back to the drawing board, and we had to figure out what he was gonna do for us to make money. Again, I offered to go back to work, and he just did not want me to go back to work. So I just remained being a supportive partner and taking care of Nico the best I could. So we had to figure out what we were gonna do, what he was gonna be able to do for work, and we will get into that in our next story. What happens next? What do we figure out that he's gonna do? And then what starts happening with the dog? You know, it starts getting movement again, and basically convinces me like he has to do it, and no is not an option anymore. Maybe it's not an option, it has to be yes, and he's gonna do it basically. And then what happened with getting the dog going? Some of the sacrifices we had to make. That's a funny story, and we're getting close to it, but we will get into all of that in our next story. All right, guys, well, it's been real. And again, I will post the link to get the book on Amazon. I'll do that this evening. And if you want the limited edition exclusive for Patreon of Anti-Heroes with the exclusive cover art, I will be doing another mailing tomorrow. I have a couple more books to ship out. So today is the last day to get in your purchase. Is that the right word? I'm not even thinking. Get in you know, if you want me to include it with tomorrow's mailing. I can't think. I'm tired at this point. But now I gotta go make dinner and take the boys outside one more time for outside time. But anyway, I guess that's it for now. So yes, I will post that link. And it's so exciting. The book's out. It's out in the world. Anti-Heroes, The Ballad of Mikey May. Go get it on Amazon, guys. And also, Seth wanted me to make sure, and I'll make sure to start making this more of a point and asking you guys to do this. If you guys could please leave reviews on Amazon for people who have read it, or once you're done reading it, please leave us a review on Amazon. It is greatly appreciated and makes all the difference. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. But as always, thank you, love you, and of course, palabra.